G'day everybody, welcome back to the Jug Show. I hope you've been having a fabulous day. I've been having a great week. Ever since they dropped the designs of the Fantastic Four in Marvel Rivals, their popularity and visuals have actually gone way up more than I've actually seen in a very long time. Probably not since their return back in 2018 after their 3-year hiatus after Secret Wars. Because, well, for starters, Marvel Rivals is already a very popular game. It was being talked about long before its release early last year. A lot of people were playing the beta version. A lot of people were playing the test versions. There was ads. There was all these kind of things getting talked about Marvel Rivals even before its most public release. So, with them being released in their first season, and alongside the what could be considered the Blood Hunt event, well, at least Marvel Rivals version of the Blood Hunt event, and alongside Dracula, as well as the various forms of advertising they put out on it, it's actually really spiking people's interest in the Fantastic Four, and especially in the actual game itself. I've seen a lot of fan arts being dropped up all over forms of social media ever since. People are really starting to get excited about the Fantastic Four. And what's really good about that is the fact that not only do we have the movie coming up later in the year, in July, we also have the upcoming Doom event coming up just later in the month. So this couldn't have dropped a better time. But we're not here to talk about the comics. We're not here to talk about movies. This is going to be the game area. And so we're going to be talking about Reed and Sue and everything we know about them up until they get released on the 10th. And God knows I'm going to be playing that game. And let me tell you something. From what I've seen of their abilities, I could have used them the other night. Oh, man. My team was getting decimated. Like, oh my God, we were so close. We were so close. But then we got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and God damn, Okay, so let me start with whose powers I really could have used the other night. Susan Storm. Okay, when it was revealed that Sue was actually a strategist, people were like, that doesn't fit Sue. Her powers are a tank. I get the feeling they wanted to separate all four into the different segments. So you got a duelist Reed, and they're probably going to give the tank to Ben, so that was going to have Susan as a strategist. And then, hell, even I was a little bit like that. It's like, I mean, this is the woman that actually is known for pounding her opponents with giant blocks of her force fields. But then they revealed exactly what she can do. And I got to admit, she's probably going to be the most effective strategist in the entire game. I mean, hell, check this out. So we see her pushing Captain America off the edge, just yeeting him off. I mean, seriously, he's like Mystique with her baby Nightcrawler. We got her actually also pulling in Thor here. Susan just continuing her decimation of Thor on so many levels. So this is very comic accurate. And this one's my favorite. This one was awesome. This is the ult everyone needs, especially from a strategist. This is probably going to be equal to Jeff's ult. Oh man, that thing's annoying. But check it out. She turns your entire team invisible if they're in the barrier. It's invisibility, and it's a shielding. It's several levels of defense. This is a fantastic ult, and a fantastic power set. She's going to be mained by so many people. She has a good balance between offense and defense, as well as healing abilities. Like, yeah, maybe she's not as powerful as she is in the comics, but honestly, with this kind of power set, you really don't need her being a tank. We can leave that for Ben. She's definitely going to be a very popular choice. And then you got Reed here. Now, I've seen a few annoying things here comparing him to Luffy from One Piece. And honestly, like these two wouldn't get along. We've seen Luffy get along with freaking Vegapunk. Reed is just as much of a goofy scientist. The fact is, Reed's been doing stuff like this was doing stuff like this before the turn of the millennium. But unfortunately, when after the 2000s rolled around, he just started getting boring stretching his arms and all that. It wasn't until recently we saw him doing all the funny, weird stuff in the North Run. that people get freaked out over just because he splits his head open. So what? He splits his head open. Reed's powers are definitely going to be interesting, and probably, unlike Sue, it's probably going to be something you're going to have to get used to. The fact is, stretching is a very weird ability to actually develop into a game, and probably just weird one to depict. But from what we've seen, he's actually also going to be very, very useful. So you got the extendo punches. Of course, we were going to get that. That was always going to probably be his thing, unless they do the science part. We don't need the science part. We got his stretching abilities. So, and the Griffin aspect, that part I'm actually excited to use. I wonder where that's going to lead. The really cool one here is almost like a strategist form of himself. He actually uses his body as a barrier and can reflect attacks. Oh man, just imagining taking on Hela now using Reed and bouncing back all her damn ult like we do Iron Man here. Oh, revenge! Oh, sweet, delicious revenge. I'm gonna get all those Hawkeyes and all those Ellas, destroy all of them with Reed. Anyway, and then you got where all the controversy's coming from with him and Luffy. You got his ult here where he beefs up and starts bouncing around. See, this is what happens when you don't use goofy type of stretching abilities for Reed. You get people thinking, oh, he's just being Luffy. And like, Luffy's is just another stretchy guy. I love Luffy, but he also stretches and so does Reed. They all have their own things. Not everything has to be inspired by something else. Can't people just do goofy things with stretching anymore without being compared to another stretchy guy? Oh, man. I mean, what's next? We're gonna see Elastigirl do this in The Incredibles, and then everyone's gonna say, is she just basing off Reed? I don't think so. That thing gets compared to the Fantastic Four way too much anyway. So this is definitely gonna be fun. And we even got the Malice and Maker skin as well. Now, while I'm not exactly a fan of this John Byrne story of Malice, compared to what she was dressed up in, I think this is a bit more of an improvement. It actually does scream torturer or person of hate. Although, personally, I think I prefer the Rachel Stott's version, her fan art that she posted during her time on the Fantastic Four. That was cool. And when it comes to the Maker, it does have a sense of over-design, but compared to what it could have been, I think this is actually pretty neat. So when it comes to actual gameplay, this is actually really interesting. Their designs are really cool, and I'm really excited to play them. And I know you had said we're going to be focusing on the game, and yet let's just talk a little bit of the comics. Like, we don't need comic accuracy here. The fact is, when it comes to a lot of the games, the comic accuracy, especially of the modern comics, is very good here. In Marvel Rivals, I mean, we're talking about Krakoa. We're pulling actual things from comics. It's very comic inspired. So it's really not much to actually complain about in a lot of the cases, because there are many games, movies, and all the like different types of adaptations that don't respect the source material and kind of give not a base, but kind of actually they kind of do their own little thing with like this very basic level of understanding, and sometimes twist and warp and remove developments or remove something or other, and you get something that's not really your favorite character, favorite event, favorite anything. Marvel Rivals isn't really doing that. It's actually very respectful of source material. And I'm really excited of what actually is going to come from this, and I'm really excited to see Johnny and Ben. Hell, for all we know, when it comes to Ben, they might actually bring up his duplication abilities from the run before Mark Waid. That was really cool. I'd really like to see that come back. How would that be for an alt? The designs are also really cool. When I first saw Sue, I know what everyone thinks about it, but honestly, I was stricken by her hair. I mean, it's a very new type of design, and like she's never actually had her hair something like this, but I really feel like it separates her from other characters. Like, it's a very interesting design choice. I've actually seen it being compared to Princess Peach. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. And when it comes to Reed, I'm so glad they gave him back his beard. Oh, God, I was so disappointed when they took that from the comics. Honestly, when it comes to their base costumes, I feel like that's a little bit over-designed. And I'm really excited to get some of the new skins. The new color scheme of one of the skins is actually very, very cool. That's the one I'm definitely going to go for. So they look really cool, and they're helping bump the popularity of the characters. They're really getting people interested in the characters. It's even doing a more interesting job than what the MCU has done with just simply after Multiverse of Madness. Everyone was ranting and raving about Mr. Fantastic and being John Krasinski, but it really didn't it didn't capture this level of attention. Then you had the Human Torch and Deadpool and Wolverine. That didn't get this kind of attention. And even with the MCU movie, which actually, quite funnily enough, despite not having a trailer and only just like promo images or promo art, is actually one of the top 5 most anticipated movies of 2025. You gotta admit, that's an achievement. Not even a trailer. You just got the sneak peeks. But even that's not generating as much attention as it could. This has actually caught a lot of people's eyes and really got them talking about the characters again. And I'm really, really thrilled about that. This year is definitely for the Fantastic Four. So I'm going to keep this one short. We're going to wrap it up here. So, their designs are out of this world. Freaking love it. I'm loving the choice of voice actors, with Mr. Fantastic being voiced by Ian James Corlett. You have no idea how big my eyes got when I saw that this is the guy that voiced Goku. I'm like, what? And then you have the Invisible Woman, played by Susie Yang. I think that's how you pronounce it. Young? Probably Young. Probably Susie Young. So yeah, sorry if I butchered your name, Susie. If you see this, I am very sorry about that. I'm terrible with names. Just ask any of my cousins. And honestly, actually, out of the two of them, I would really love it if, say, I think it would be really cool if Marvel Rivals ended up, I feel like it could do that. We got something similar when it came to Overwatch. The idea of Marvel Rivals might be getting their own little animated storytelling type of deal. We're already getting a comics. I would love to have Susie Young actually play Sue Storm, because her voice is very appropriate. There's something about it. It just screams Sue Storm. God damn. I really hope that this might even get the Marvel Studios to actually confirm a new animated series. God knows we could use a few animated series now, especially with What If now finished. If you ask me, animated series is one of the best type of ways to actually tell comic stories. Anyway, so finishing up. This is going to be really exciting. The fact is, now that it really feels like their popularity is really starting to come up. They have their upcoming event, which is being led into just later in the month, and we even have other writers talking about it, like Murewa Ayodele. He's actually using it for his next Storm book, so that's also going to be a fun lead-in, especially with how popular his book is now. That actually could help get some popularity for the upcoming event. And then we also had the movie coming out, which is already generating its own excitement. So this is a really good thing. It's really exciting. I'm loving Marvel Rivals. And this is how you treat the Fantastic Four in a game, okay? So, yeah, take that, Fortnite. Bloody hell. Let's go fucking Marvel Rivals, okay? So if you see me, you'll know my name. It's Jug, or Jug that... Actually, no, it's not even that. Let's see. This is... I pissed off my friend by doing this. So if you find me on Marvel Rivals, or you want to find me on Marvel Rivals, you can find me as Jug T B W J W S U. You look for me on Marvel Rivals, that's where I'll be. And I'm sorry if it sounds really complicated, but frankly, it's much more simple than AI number 723W925. I mean, sort of. Is it? I don't know. I've already annoyed my friend, so if you're actually interested in trying to track me down, you can find me there on Marvel Rivals. I might even upload a couple of playthroughs. You can hear me swearing at Hela and Hawkeye. And maybe a Jeff. Alright, so thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. I'm really excited for this. So, once again, bye!